Next time I say a word completely wrong on the podcast.
You know what I mean? Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Boys Only podcast. Today we're just going to be talking about guy stuff.
Of course.
Trucks.
Trucks.
Beers.
Welcome back to the Weekend Roundup, everybody. We have, as you know, been listening to all of your feedback and what you have to say. And as we addressed at the start of season 2, I know a lot of you don't feel as though we're giving enough love to the straight men. So in order to address this issue, we decided to pick one up off the side of the street to bring him in to ask him a few questions. So everybody welcome Max Taylor to the studio today.
It was cold outside, so thank you for picking me up. Thanks everybody. Very happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Excited to have you.
We have to be honest. Last night was Maddie's birthday party, and if you're watching on YouTube, it's pretty. If you're watching on YouTube, B and Max are giving you a free gun show right now.
Absolutely,
I'm covering up.
And Maddie's feeling modest.
Feeling modest today.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie's birthday was last night. So we're not our most professional right now. This is a little bit different than the Jada interview.
We're just chilling.
Honestly, we're just gonna chill with Max today and see where the conversation takes us and get some straight man advice, because clearly that's something that we're not delivering.
We're lacking.
Let's get the advice going. I mean, step one. Let's dive right in.
Let's dive in.
Let's dive right into the glove guy.
Into the glove guy. And I was going to say,
Right
it's
into
kind
the
of funny
glove
because the way you open, you were like, oh, we just picked a guy up off the street.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a
I'm
beautiful
glove-
segue
I've been glove
to talk
guy.
about glove guy.
It's genius.
Glove guy.
The glove guy is, I assume it's who you wanted to be here today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
Of
I was,
course.
the second choice,
Mhm.
but
It's okay.
glove guy's he's an anomaly. He's an enigma.
Mhm.
You can't get him.
Exactly. He's a mystery.
He's a mystery.
No one knows.
Should
No
we
one knows
explain
about him.
who Glove Guy is to
Yeah, just in
our
case people don't know.
non-Hallie listeners? Honestly, you two are the Hallie born and raised. You tell them, because I'm a...
Glove guy picks up young men and drives them home from downtown and makes them
Yes.
try on gloves.
Absolutely.
Try to in kind of a weird sexual way, I think.
I think it's weird sexual. I wouldn't know. He wouldn't pick me up. But
Yeah,
from the
okay.
stories I
What's,
hear,
Yeah,
what's the
let's
story
hear
with
this.
you?
Well, listen. So the
You
glove,
tried to get picked
back
up.
before Ubers were here.
Of
Mhm.
course.
You know, it was very hard to get a taxi. It was
Of
incredibly
course.
hard to get a taxi. Everyone was fighting for taxis. It was wars on the streets.
Argyle Street was a war
And
zone.
then you
Way
see
back
glove
when.
guy.
Of course.
And then you see glove guys as, not an imposing figure, just like a guy standing on the side of the
he's not in
on
the car,
Pizza
he's
Corner.
standing?
Well, I saw him at the marquee once. He was next to the urinals, and
And
he was,
you knew it was him. Like,
you
you've
could
seen him
not
before?
mistake him for anybody else. He
So
has an
people
aura.
know what he looks
has an aura.
like.
No,
Oh,
you just
he hands
sensed
out
it.
business cards. You can find his website as well.
Okay.
And to be fair, it's not. He doesn't cross the line, but he certainly tiptoes.
He
it.
flirts with it,
He
from what I've
certainly
heard.
tiptoes it. So he'll pick up these young men, say, hey, you need to drive home. He drives them home. And before they get out of the car, he's like, hey, do you mind trying on some gloves? And they're real tight.
They're quite tight.
Real tight.
You
So he puts them on, and you can hear him heavily breathing as you try to squeeze into these
Jesus
little gloves,
Christ.
right? Which, I mean, to be fair, it's like way better than paying for a cab home. I would
No.
absolutely take that trade-off.
I think I would too, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong, but as far as I know, he's never really gone further than that.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted him to pick me up to get me try some gloves on. I wanted to drive home, and this has happened 3 times.
You've
3
tried to get
times,
picked
3
up by
separate
Glove Guy
times.
3 times?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, you are saying it right now.
Okay, so you're right.
this is
This
just
did
real.
happen.
This
It
did
is not an
happen.
allegation. Yeah, so the first time was pouring rain. I'm with my buddy Ryan. Nice guy, just a regular guy.
Just a buddy.
Just a buddy of mine,
Just a buddy.
Guys being dudes. hanging out.
Of course.
Just about to say that.
And when I look, it's pouring rain in the corner. I see the glove guy. I'm like, Ryan, I'm gonna go see if I can get a drive home. He's like, okay, bro, do what you have to do. So I stand next to him, and I'm like, shivering, pretending I'm really cold. I'm like saying out loud,
Are you
I'm
putting
like,
on a show?
I'm putting on a show because I'm pretty sure he has to be the one to ask you. It's like,
Yeah.
There's a way of how this
Yeah.
works.
I've read
There's
up
an
on
exchange,
this. Yeah, an
yeah.
exchange. So I'm shivering next to him. I'm kind of looking over.
I wish someone would give me their
Yeah,
jacket.
I wish I had some gloves to warm these hands.
He's like,
but-
damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather. Come on.
But I'm doing that, and then still nothing. So then I start just kind of fiddling with my hands, being like, my hands are so dry tonight. And I'm saying it out loud.
Are
and
you
he's,
showing off your hands?
yeah, I'm showing up my hands. So I hope not even
Promiscuous,
an ounce of
Max.
interest. Not even an ounce of interest. And I can see him kind of looking over what the fuck's the matter with this guy? And then he looks back. So I'm there for probably about 5, which I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 5 minutes.
That's a long
No,
It's a
time.
long
that
time.
is a long time.
It's a long
That
time to
is
be
a
out in the
long
rain.
time.
First of all, for him,
To
like,
be performing. Yeah.
like I'm
no.
handing this on a silver platter. A man ready to give you hands to put gloves in.
He's like, you want it too bad.
I
No.
give up. I give up. I go across the street. I'm looking out through the window with Ryan. I'm like, Ryan, it didn't work. Like, let's get a cab. And then Ryan goes, oh, 1 sec. So he goes outside to throw something out in the trash. Ryan walks out the door. Within maybe 3 seconds, all I hear is a scream. Excuse me, do you need a drive?
Oh,
That
my
is
gosh.
really upset. You know what?
And I look across and I'm thinking, how
Why
could
not
you
me?
do this to me? How could you do this to me? This is a betrayal.
That's brutal.
I have to be honest, Max. Here's my advice. I think you put it all out there.
No,
I
yeah.
think, why would you get the cow
You're right.
if you can get the milk for free? You really gave him everything he needed.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
And
I wasn't
Ryan was a little bit more hard to get.
right, but what he was throwing out a rapper from Johnny K's. Is that what it's called?
It's something about the beauty of the natural, of the
Yeah.
real.
Right.
I think
And I
Glove
wasn't real
Guy's
enough.
no superficial bitch, all right? He runs this city. He
You're
knows
right.
what he's looking for.
He certainly
He has
does.
the
He runs
lay
the
of the
underground.
land. When we
not the
posted
upset.
Glove Guy on our story, like someone saying get Glove Guy on next, I honestly felt like maybe we needed to have an intervention for the amount of guys who messaged us with their
No,
own Glove
it was
Guy stories.
crazy
Yeah.
how many people he has picked up. Like,
Mhm.
it's insane.
There should be a documentary about Glove Guy. And I'm not kidding
No,
when I say that.
I
No.
agree. I
Nighttime
feel like
podcast did a really good podcast
Really?
episode about it.
I
did?
gotta listen to that.
Nighttime.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, crazy.
Was
crazy.
he on it?
He wasn't
Mm,
on it, but he had like a bunch of people who was
Have
like, picked
been
up by him,
picked up.
and then had them
Interesting.
tell their stories.
I think it can totally be a
Very
Netflix
interesting.
Yeah.
like
Very
documentary,
interesting.
but I just feel like we're
No.
in it right now. Like it's
It's-
not done.
It's
Oh.
the Halifax Tiger King.
I don't think it's done, but I'm hoping it stays stagnant
It's
and nothing
stagnant.
else happens.
I know,
Yeah.
I
Because let's
know.
be honest here, like, and look, this is nothing against him,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it certainly seems like the makings of some bad news.
No,
You know what I mean?
100%. It's
We kid and we
scary.
joke, but well, number one, everyone, don't get into a car with someone that you don't know.
Yeah.
Don't be slutting out your hands for
Yeah.
a Glove Guy on the side of the street like Max here. Just
Max
get
just
an
selling
Uber.
himself.
I was cold. I wanted to drive home. I didn't know what to do.
He's like,
And he still didn't do it.
okay, well, if that, what were the other 2 times?
Well, I was at the Marquee. I think it was, where's the place? What's it called? The local. Is the Marquee the one on the bottom? What's the bottom part? of it?
Seahorse is in the
Seahorse,
bottom.
yeah.
Seahorse. So the Seahorse, music playing. I think Dancing Queen or something. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's
Dancing
vibing out.
It's
They're doing
always
their thing.
Dancing Queen.
I was always Dancing Queen. So I go to the bathroom and I'm with my buddy. I go to the bathroom and we're peeing Urals next to each other, laughing like, "Oh, hey, Dancing Queen." Yeah. Throwing out the context. And we're laughing, blah blah.
See, this is
I
what I
walk
mean.
out-
We're getting to look into the
We're like,
urinals. We're getting all the
guys
Yeah,
being
straight.
dudes.
exactly. So then I walk out of the urinal. I'm first. My buddy's trailing in the back. And I see Glove Guy at the corner of my eye, like leaning on the corner. Almost pretty like suave, to be honest. Like foot
He's a
against
man
the
of
wall.
class.
You're like, he kind of has game.
hands in the pocket, just like a really cool pose. I was like, I'm gonna get rejected again, so I'm just gonna walk away. So I walk past him, and then as I walk, I hear, "Hey!" I go, "No way."
You're
No
like
way.
fangirling.
Listen, it was 10:30 at this point. I had no intention of going home, but I'm
I was
ready
about
to
to
leave.
go home.
I'm ready to leave.
I'll take the drive.
If I need to drive right now, I'm taking the drive.
I'll Uber back to the Seahorse
I'll
later.
Uber later.
Like,
But then I see, hey, I turn around. Another friend of mine, the guy I was peeing with,
He wanted
He
him.
wanted him.
wow.
At this point, I think it's intentional.
I'm like,
Mm.
maybe he's trying to make you jealous.
I think he
maybe
is.
he's trying to.
Well, it is.
He's doing the
certainly
long
working.
game with
he's,
you.
he's playing the long
It
game.
He's
is.
playing the long
It
game
is
with you.
certainly working. It is certainly working.
You're like, I can't get him off my mind.
I just can't stop thinking about
And the more he
Glove Guy.
doesn't want you, you just want him more.
And that's
Like,
the thing. And now you have Uber. Now, I mean, like, I also have a car. that-
Yeah.
I mean, I can just,
There's no need.
I can just go
There's
home
no
at
need,
any
yeah.
time. But
But it's just something
the
about the
allure.
thrill of it all.
it's just the thrill of knowing that what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Will they or won't they? They won't, apparently. As
I
time
mean,
has showed.
hopefully.
As time tested has showed they won't. But, at the end of the day, that's
That's
That's my
crazy.
Glove Guy.
that's a great weekend roundup story that really matched in on our
Yeah.
on our brand.
Yeah.
I guess we should also, as podcast hosts, introduce Max a little bit better than what I did.
Yeah.
So now that you know about his hands, I'll let you know that Max is a TikToker from Halifax. And correct me if I'm wrong, but your first viral video is you running with milk.
Certainly was.
The milk challenge.
Can you?
was.
What was that?
Milk
Was that the
challenge?
David Dobrik challenge?
he did it as
oh,
well.
I
yeah,
thought he
did
made
It was
it.
the
Sorry.
Max
Sorry,
Taylor
it was the Max.
challenge.
It was the
Don't
Max Taylor
even.
challenge.
Did you I know everybody asks TikTokers this question, but did you know like any of that shit was gonna take off and go the way that it did? Like,
No, honestly, it's a weird world. I mean, like, it was the beginning of the pandemic. I was making videos to make my friends laugh.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I make one video and it goes, people
Yeah.
start doing it. And then I just started making more. I was ready to go. I had like some more in the chamber, started making those. And it was relatively organic, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's weird. Like, once you get into space and you start talking to other people who make stuff, other TikTokers, other YouTubers, and you realize, like, it's a very strange world to be in.
It is.
Which is why I
Yep.
think it's, like, important, to diversify a little bit. Like, that's, like, an outlet to be creative, right? Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but for some people, that's the be-all, end-all. This
Yeah.
is the absolute career, which
Yeah.
is fine. No judgments on those people. They're making a lot of money. Good for them. But it's also, like, a weird world.
It's weird.
It's a weird
Yeah.
world.
What's
like,
weird about it? Expand.
Well, I went down to LA for a little bit to do some writing for people
Right.
in that space. And then you see these things and you're like, what is happening here?
Tell us
Why-
about your LA trip. What did you see? Come
Yeah,
on,
like-
let's
like,
spill
you gotta
it. Let's
spill it.
come on.
You
here.
saw a lot of things.
You're
certainly
hinting. You're
see-
hinting a lot.
Well, I mean, you hear some of the behind the scenes. Like, nothing's necessarily real.
Right,
For
yeah.
example, like, let's say that someone does a prank,
Yeah.
and like that's an organic. Like the first shot is like let's say it's a random example. This didn't happen. Like, random example. Someone's
'Kay.
jumping behind a couch to scare you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Something. So you jump behind a couch to scare. The camera's there, and they don't scream loud enough. They're like, "All right, let's do it again." And I'm like, "But now he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now it's like
now
not-
he knows it's coming."
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And like, there's always piles of money everywhere to use for pranks. And I'm talking like huge piles of money everywhere. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
do I say anything about this? Like,
You're like, can I have some?
can I have
Or-
some? Like, what do I do? And that was the weirdest part. There's piles of money on the table at this big mansion. And to get to the mansion, you have to go through like a 5-minute drive of in Los Angeles, there's like little areas that are like homeless villages, right?
Mhm.
Essentially, like they have like communities,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
they're like long stretches, like under bridges, and you have to drive through that. And then all of a sudden, after a 5-minute drive through like, intense poverty,
Mhm.
you go up a hill, and now you're followed by a Brinks truck to deliver wads of cash to a mansion. And it's like a really weird world to be in.
Yeah.
Like-
LA's
that
weird like that.
is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really weird to be in. And then you go to the club scenes, and like, I only went downtown once when I was there, which is also another weird thing. Like, I'm there,
Yeah.
you take me out here, you fly me out, take me for a cup of fucking
Yeah.
coffee or something. What the hell am I supposed to
Take
do all
me
day?
out.
Yeah, take me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, eventually I go out, we go to this club, they make us put stickers on our phones,
Oh,
so we can't
I've
take
heard
pictures
of
of
this.
people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll just take the fucking
What?
sticker off.
Yeah.
Take the
Like,
phone.
what?
But anyway, you do that, and then like, there's just shenanigans. You see all these NBA players in there, which is weird, because
Mhm.
like you feel
That's
really
cool.
short.
You're like, I was just insecure.
I didn't like it, so then I have to sit down the whole time, so then people think I might be taller than I am. It was weird, and like the club scene's weird too, because like everyone's like, if it's a regular club where it's like everybody's getting in, whatever, like they'll be pretty like standoffish, right? But when they
Yeah.
get to these clubs where they know it's only people they know, like you have to be on the guest list to get in, whatever. Then they really cut loose, and it's like bizarre. Like people are going to the bathroom to do these gourmet like shroom powders, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'm just trying to pee. There's like a ton of people behind there have this gold-plated shroom stuff, and they're snorting on the table. I'm like,
You're like,
can
what
you
the
snort?
heck?
This is
Don't you go
nothing.
blind if you snort shrooms? Is that true?
You're like,
But
oh.
This
Yeah.
is nothing like Halifax. I miss the dome.
it was like the dome.
It's like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, it's a weird. I don't really like LA at all. I mean,
Nah,
but
you're
that's
right.
like
That's fair.
once you're making videos and stuff, like a lot of people just have to go there
Yeah,
to continue it,
'cause
even
it's
for
like
like
where everyone
collaboration
is.
stuff with other people. But
Yeah, you kind of get backed into a corner when you get to a certain level that, like, unless you're willing to fly to LA all the time, you kind of just have to
Live there.
reroute,
Yeah.
live there, which LA is at its fucking max right now. How long were you out there?
2 weeks. I was out there for 2
2
weeks.
2 weeks.
2
Did it feel
weeks.
like 2 weeks, or did it feel?
Honestly, it felt longer.
Yeah.
than 2
Yeah.
weeks. It felt a lot longer than 2 weeks.
Because you just weren't really vibing it, you
I
think?
was only vibing, and it was really hot, but
Yeah.
but it wasn't like hot to get like a tan though. Like I was
It was
sitting
just
outside.
like sweaty hot.
It was like sweaty hot.
Yeah.
And I left deodorant in the car once, and I woke up. It was like I had a rental car, and I woke up the next day, and I was like, everything's melted. Like everything gets melted. Like
Ew.
everything, it's
Nothing like
disgusting.
Yeah.
our
It's
gloomy
disgusting.
Halifax weather.
Yeah, it's
Like just not the same.
It's not the same. I don't know. I don't like. It just wasn't my thing. And everything's so expensive there too. Like Ubers take an hour to go.
That's brutal.
No glove guys.
We're like they
Yeah,
don't
no
have a
glove guy.
single glove guy.
Not a
to pick you
single
up.
glove guy. And
I was
would
slutting out these hands all
absolutely
night.
I'd be loving that. And it was weird too. Like even when we were down there, and nothing against the people I was with. Like very nice people and whatnot, but just strange. Like really nice. I'm just being conservative here. The one highlight I would say is like I was, we're at a bar. The one night I go out. Like all of a sudden, like everyone starts crowding around like a table, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on here? What was there? Is there a celebrity here?" And I was like, "I don't really care, whatever."
You're like I don't care, but
I
like
don't
who
care.
is it?
Like, who the hell is it? And then I look over. Beans from Even Stevens.
Shut up.
It was Beans.
That's kind of crazy.
It was Beans,
and not him like having people swarming him, like just still
Swarming.
thriving.
Everyone, and I heard murmurs. Like the only reason I knew it was Beans because like it was on like a murmurs through the air. It was like, "Is that Beans? Beans, oh my God, Beans is here. Beans is here." I looked over. I'm not kidding. I was way too shy to talk to him.
So you never even got a
Wait.
pic or anything?
100%.
I was too scared. I was too
Yeah.
scared.
No, I would be too. Honestly, seeing like celebrities, I feel like is like stressful.
Mhm.
It's stressful. You
'Cause,
don't
like,
meet your heroes.
Yeah,
I
like,
was just-
like
Yep, I was just gonna say they tell you don't meet your heroes. If
Yeah.
I met Beans and he was an asshole, I don't know how I would move forward from
Exactly.
that.
I'd
Like,
rather
great.
just pretend I didn't see him.
Yeah.
man.
yeah, it's just the
Literally.
same character.
I certainly did.
Yeah.
Very interesting looking man as well. I didn't expect him all grown
Oh
up
yeah,
like
Really?
that.
that's his biggest
Oh,
And
appeal.
he was
Like that.
certainly grown up, let me tell you. Oh
We'll,
my
we'll have
God.
to post a picture like Beans 2022.
Recent Beans. You see Beans in
So
the dome. What do you
Beans
do?
It's so, and I felt bad too at the same time. Like, imagine being like having one big hit as Beans.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
like you're just known as Beans.
You're just known as Beans. Like, how
Like-
do you escape that?
Do we even know his real name? Does anyone here know his real name?
I think you change it to Beans.
yeah.
Just change
He probably
it.
goes by but you know what? This is a unique situation because he also looks like a Beans.
Oh, wow.
You know?
That's
So
actually
so
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of
like,
course
some
that was
people
gonna
it's like,
stick.
Yeah, that's
it
a
would
big stick.
Yeah.
Little guy too. Didn't expect- He's like
Little guy,
4'11".
little guy.
I think he's like 4'11".
Was he in there with the NBA players? I bet that made you feel better.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely
You're like,
not.
I was alone.
No, I think they beef.
I'm not so. I
The
wouldn't
kid
be
from the Cat in the
surprised.
Hat was there as well. That
No way.
movie. And he was
were
like,
you?
what the hell
I'm like,
was
were you
I?
at the like Disney Channel reunion?
No,
or?
I was there, and
He was
kid-
at the Disney Channel games.
The club.
Yeah, the kid from the Cat in the Hat was there, and I was like, "That is not." Someone said that to me. I was like, "That's a grown man. Like that. Who the hell is that guy?" And you're sitting there, and like they're all so suave.
They're like, you've never seen the live action of the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, I was
What the
like-
fuck?
It's always weird, but I wouldn't want to go back.
Yeah.
Like, and I like being here too. There's a lot of like people making stuff here. Like Halifax is really going through it
Halifax is
Yeah.
kind of
Is
like
it-
people are really getting on their creative shit. It's
Yeah.
kind of popping off.
You just started like a digital creator company, right? Or some kind of like
Right now.
content
I did
thing?
a
I saw
digital
that on
media
LinkedIn.
agency, which is going pretty well. I'm liking it. It's a nice
So what
thing.
kind of stuff do you do?
Well, me and Ben, we just kind of make like product shots, product videos, writing
Cool.
ideas, like some guerrilla marketing stuff. Just like in general, if it lives in the digital world, like we make it, right?
Okay,
And it's
cool.
kind of like,
Sick.
because you see all these people online, like anybody who makes these videos, like they don't, they'll make something, say, hey, like this video is going to blow up in the, on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Like, here's our price. They charge a brand, whatever. But it's like, but how do you know? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you kind of got to be in it a little bit. And that's
Yeah.
kind of where we're approaching. Like, we're in it. Like, I've
have
obviously made
experience.
videos. You have some
Yeah.
experience. So I think it's
Adds a
interesting to kind of go to
credibility.
brands and be like, hey, like, we know how it works. Don't listen to some of the other stuff. I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong,
Yeah.
but they're certainly doing it wrong. But,
Is that kind of more what you want to do, like the business side of?
I think so. I think, Ben, who I'm working with, he's a really smart guy. And we got together making some videos, and then we realized, like, you know what, we should just be doing stuff together and see what we can do. So we started taking some example videos for like different products we liked, and we're like, why don't we just send these to the brands? We sent them off, and they're like, oh, can we get more? And we're like, let's just start our own thing.
Mhm.
We just kept doing it from there.
Nice.
But I think it's a nice transition away from like the poop and the penis jokes online. I think it certainly is.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's definitely
Yeah.
a new angle.
Yeah.
You're rebranding, and as PR girlies, we love it.
Yeah,
We support
you
it.
have to do it sometimes.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's certainly a tough go.
What kind of like guerrilla marketing do you do?
Well, let me think. For example, so the diarrhea campaign was probably like the best example. I think.
You're like, yeah, like I'm just
You
really getting
just
away from the
contradicted
poop
yourself.
joke.
Yeah, that's
You're like, I
true.
swear.
like kind of in the same breath.
Well, we were doing this thing. Like, I thought it'd be hilarious to have a shirt that says just the word diarrhea and Times New Roman or whatever on it. I was
Fair
just like, I
enough.
wonder if people would actually wear this. I was like, how are we going to get people to wear it? I'm like, we have to do it for like a reason, right? So we talked to CDHF, Canadian Digestive Health Foundation, and we didn't think they'd be on board at all. But like the only email I got back was like, we're in. And I was like, oh my God, amazing.
We're in.
So then like we didn't really make any money off it all, well, because it was all going to them.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see if people would do it. And we
But
did
yeah,
it.
no, and it's good for like your portfolio kind of.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And then like the
Yeah.
videos, like, I mean, my buddies turned on the news one day, and I'm there with a diarrhea shirt on. Like, this is the most insane thing. Like that kind of stuff. Just like interesting things. Like how can you make this happen? Like we find a way to, get there.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, did your parents really like seeing you on the news with the diarrhea shirt on? Because honestly, I can relate. Having to tell my parents that after graduation, I think I want to do podcasting was a bit of a tough conversation.
Oh, certainly. Well, my mom's always been in advertising, so like,
Oh, cool.
She gets it.
she gets it. Well, we don't really agree on a lot of the creative stuff, me and her. we come from different spaces in that regard.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So when I told
Same
her about
with
the
our
diarrhea
parents.
thing, yeah, I mean, so it's tough. Like, so I mean, from now, I just don't really tell my mom doing things. I just like just watch, see what's happening. Because I mean,
Yeah.
like, she always has advice, which is great, but it's always like, oh my God, Mom, like I just want to wear a shirt that says diarrhea. Like,
Mom, like it's
Mom,
fun
please.
and fresh. Come on.
But so it's always weird to explain to your parents that kind of stuff, and like, I always hope she doesn't see some of the videos I make.
Of course.
Even though none of them are too over the top. I don't think. I hope not.
No.
The first one that popped into my mind was the last one I saw of yours. That fucking killed me. It was the trend. I'll put it up on the screen. The trend, like me and my girlfriend at night, and the you're fucked for that. That was funny.
Yeah, I was a fan of that one. I like that one. Yeah.
You're like, that
So
was
I
a
don't
good
think she
one.
saw that one, which is good.
No.
But I mean, the reason why, so I like to do these things, and like, I think because the joke is always on me, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
get away with it a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
100%.
So, and I think that's the only reason. Like, even when I was doing the mayoral stuff, nobody ever really brought the videos up because it's like, even though they're a little risque, they're a little, certainly they have some jokes in there. They're a little over the top. It's never at anybody else's expense.
Yeah.
Because it's at my own expense. It's like, you put it out, use it against
Yeah.
me. You really can't.
Yeah.
You know,
What are
I'm
they
just-
gonna say?
And that's why I certainly like doing it, but it's always hard. I don't really read the comments as much anymore as I used to.
Mm.
But for a while, it was like, people were reaching out and being like, "Hey, like, is everything all right?" Blah
You're-
blah. And I was
You
like,
were
"Oh, I'm
getting
gonna-"
hate comments?
Well, no, people
Not
were reaching
even-
out.
people
But
are concerned
They were concerned. They
for
were like,
him.
because I was always joking. that I was like sad,
oh,
blah blah
oh,
blah.
They're like, hey.
And they were like,
It's
"Hey,
like,
is
why
everything
were
all
you
right? Like,
getting
do you need someone to talk to?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just kidding."
Like, it's just jokes.
Yeah,
We're just having fun.
I'm just kidding. Like I've met my dad. Like he's still in the picture, somewhat.
You're like, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
They're like, "Hey, like my girlfriend cheated too," and I was like, "Oh, I was just kidding.
That was
You're like,
Yeah.
that's a bit.
That was
That's a bit.
just a little bit. It was just a bit. Is what that was."
Like,
So yeah, it's see, they like that one, eh? It's interesting. Yeah, that was a tough one.
That was funny.
I don't know if people would like that one
I
as much.
thought it was funny. I'm glad to give you some in-person feedback.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll let you know on each one what I'm feeling,
Yeah.
what I'm not,
I'll
you
be
know.
waiting. But so it's hard because like lately you have to post all the time. Which I
Yeah.
don't do as much anymore. Now I just
Yeah.
really kind of post every now and then, which means your numbers go down because like they want you to post every single day, and
Yeah.
you can't have an idea every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
So now I just post things that I like, which is obviously there's some stagnation with that because you
Yeah.
can't grow as much.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, oh my God, it's not only is it a lot of work to post twice a day,
no, it's crazy.
but you're not going to be making hits
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
you're posting twice a day.
Quality
You've
over
already
quantity.
grown though. Like you
Yeah, you have a
your
following.
platform is built. You don't need to be like putting out 7 videos a day to try to like build your platform. You have the luxury now of like putting out things that
Yeah.
you like and work for you.
Yeah.
So now tell us about running for mayor, please.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Okay, right on.
That's what a
right
lot of
on.
people ask.
So I don't
about.
know anything about this. I remember hearing like Maddie mentioning it like once or twice, but I don't know anything about it. So fill me in.
Yeah, so I was talking to my mom at the beginning of the pandemic before I started making videos at all. We were talking about election stuff. This was like probably 6 months before I ran for mayor.
Okay.
She was like, "Yeah." I said something like, "Can anybody run for mayor?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Why hasn't anybody else besides like career politicians done it?" She goes, "I don't know. Go away, I'm working." Yeah,
Go away, I'm working.
I was like, "Okay," but because I was like living in a tight little cottage space. I was only supposed to be here. Like, and I used to live in Toronto, and then I came back to help her move, and the pandemic hit. So I was like, I'll just stay here for a little bit. So when you're trapped in like this tiny little cottage,
Yeah.
you kind of have to be creative. So then I started thinking about this in the back of my mind. And then I heard Chris Paul, this NBA player, he's going off. He's like, I got all my teammates to register to vote. Like, not enough people vote. And I was like, let's look up the Halifax voting numbers. Oh my God, nobody's voting. You know what? I'm gonna.
Oh my God,
Okay,
nobody's
listen to
voting.
this. Conspiracy about that, by the way.
Okay.
No,
I'm
it's not a
here
huge. It's actually just like okay. So in the last election, let's say it
Okay.
was before 2020, 2016, I think was the last one.
Okay.
Okay, so the census of population for 2016's election came from 2011, right? So in 2011 we had, what was it? 500,000 people? I forget. So essentially we had 30% of that number vote. But in 2016 it was actually higher. There were way more people than that. So the numbers were really like 20% of people voted. So then in the 2020 election, when they say we raised voter turnout by 5%, well, that's because the census was taken a year before that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. I'm sick and tired of people saying it was only raised by 5%. 300,000 more voters were there. And I did the math. 300,000. And I was so upsetting because I didn't realize until last week that was the case. So I couldn't tell anybody. This is the first time I'm saying it.
Well, I'm glad.
I feel like I just ran into my dad in the kitchen, and this is what he wanted to talk to me about
He's
today.
like, get this. I ran the numbers. I ran the numbers.
To be fair, I probably ran them very incorrectly because it was like 4 a.m. after just
You're like,
a
wait a sec.
late night and edited the Wikipedia myself just to make sure. No, but
Listening to the
essentially-
social network while doing it.
Exactly. No, but yeah, so I ran just trying to get the voter numbers up. And it was hard. I mean, like, that was the only time in my life I've ever experienced, like, genuine, like, not only pushback, but, like, hate, right?
Mhm.
Until,
Yeah.
like, so when we did the debate initially, like, the first debate we did, like, in person, it kind of became, it was a little bit better. You know, people kind of started to understand where I was coming from first.
Yeah.
Before I ever got in front of a scene, within the first 24 hours of it being announced, like, oh my God, people from my life, you know, people like I've grown up with were like posting things about me like it's not gone unnoticed that Max hasn't put out a stance on this. And I said, first of all,
my
it's been
gosh.
like 12 hours. It certainly has gone unnoticed. And secondly, give me some time. It's been a day.
It certainly has gone
It
unnoticed.
certainly has gone unnoticed until right now. So thanks.
Thanks for that.
Thanks for that.
So-
That was really nice to do.
I don't know if this is an offensive question, but were you being like for real?
I certainly was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, I
That's
mean,
like what everyone wanted to know.
yeah, I
feel
never had
like.
any intention of winning. Like I knew
Yeah.
for a fact, like Mike Savage was, you know, he was the incumbent. He was going to win regardless. I mean, but at the end of the day, like I just wanted more young people to actually vote, like care, because to be honest, like if you know he's going to win anyway, why the hell would you go and vote? So I
Yeah.
figure if I'm there, at least people will vote against me to get the voter out, right? And if I win, that's great. And when people say like, you know, what would you do if you won? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to put this out there. Shadow Mike for a day. Just shadow him for a day. Okay? The guy makes $200,000 a year to do what? Do what? You know?
You're like, I'd like to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know. And that's nothing against him. That's
No,
just
yeah.
the way it's set up organizationally in the province.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not his fault, but Halifax as a city doesn't have a lot of power.
Yeah.
Like the mayor of Toronto has to do a ton of stuff because Ontario gives him a lot of power.
Yeah.
But the province has all the power here. I mean, the
Yeah.
actual mayor can only change so much, you know? I mean, I'm sure he wants to do more,
Yeah.
but, you know, systems are in place for that.
Right.
Maybe they would have been, but
You're like,
Had
if
I had
only,
won.
Yeah.
if
What were
only.
your like? Did you have it? You knew you weren't gonna win, but did you have like legitimate, you know, stances and things?
oh, certainly, yeah, certainly. I think just like the basic stuff. And I think like, you know, most of us were on the same page. Like me and Mike were on the same page about a lot of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
so we wanted lower, more affordable housing. You know, we just wanted, in generally, just things to make the city better. And I think he's trying to do that too, right? Because who
Yeah.
wouldn't be trying to do it? But there's really no way you can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
not easy. Like, it's not a one thing.
yeah, it's
like,
not a one thing. You really need to have a bunch of people come in, like people who actually know what they're doing in
Yeah.
terms of like city planners that like are fantastic. They come in, they talk about it, but right now there are solutions, but I don't know how, you know what I mean? Like how we can get power as a city to actually do that, because
Yeah.
if people are going to keep raising the rent if they can. Oh my God, is that me?
Like.
Oh my God, it's Mike. Okay. But yeah, so I did have certain stances that I really did believe in. I think just like there's a lot of things that can change. It can be a much better city. Like I already love Halifax. It's my
Yeah.
favorite city in the world, but I mean any place can get better.
Yeah,
so I
of
think like just in
course.
general, just like a more affordable place to live. It's like it's a young city, right? Like it's a real
Yeah.
young city. And if you're going to university, how are you gonna afford like a $2,000 a month apartment?
No.
You
Yeah,
know?
I
That's
know.
a big thing. How
like,
the hell
yeah.
do you afford that? It's insane.
You literally can't. Like,
You can't.
It's ridiculous.
So it should certainly change. And people are saying like, oh, it's Airbnb. I'm like, okay, well, no, it's not. No, it's not. You know, people charge because they can charge that much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I had some stances that I really liked, but it was also hard to talk about things from that side,
Mhm.
knowing that, you know, on this side, I'm making poop jokes on the internet. So how do you differentiate the two?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? But it's like,
Happy medium.
it's hard to explain to people, like, you know, you're the sum of your parts. You're not just
Mhm.
one thing. Like, I can laugh at this, but there's nothing to do with that.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, no, 100%.
I think that's important for people. Everyone has a serious side. Everyone has a funny side. So
Yeah.
just like indulge, enjoy both.
No, that's what we say all the time.
know?
Like we're like people only see like us on the podcast, so they think of us as like how we are on the
Yeah.
podcast, and then I feel like they come up to us and it's like, oh, it's not the same.
Yeah, we've been told that we're quite lame a few times just
Oh,
because
really?
like we're not always like on, you know. It makes sense that people would think that we're the same
Yeah.
as we are in the stories that we tell and when we're on here. But I mean, the stories that we're telling, it's because they're great stories.
It's just
you know?
the highlight tape.
It's the highlight
Yeah.
reel. This
You're
whole
only seeing
thing's
the
the highlight reel.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
then, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like the only thing that's really changed with that is just people will expect us to party way harder than we do. We're kind of lame, actually.
I'm trying
Last
to
night's the
sleep.
first time we
Whoa,
partied in a
hold-
while.
So when you guys go out, like, are people just like shots,
No,
shots,
peop-
shots?
People- yes,
like
yeah.
people will
really?
literally take like that girl. I'm thinking of a really specific story right now.
Yeah.
We went to Boston Pizza with like a bunch of people we didn't really know. Like we like knew them, but
Yeah.
we weren't like
already
super
the start
close.
of a great night.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And then this girl was there with us, and she was like, "Oh, like I'm gonna take like how many shots was it? Like it was like 10 shots or something in 30 seconds. It was
in
crazy.
28 seconds or something, and then she did it again 20 minutes later. Took another 6 shots, and
It was like in 13 seconds the second
Yeah.
time though. And
Yeah.
she was like, "Maddie, Lauren, watch." And I was like, "Girl, like I can't even take a single shot. Like I am done."
How did you get roped into this situation?
man, there was an episode recorded about that night, and had to go
to
in
cut
the
it.
had to go in the vault
Oh,
for a little
we'll tell you
while.
really?
Tell you off the record.
We'll tell you when the cameras are off. But
Oh my god! Wow.
yeah,
I'm getting the
Yeah.
scoop right
It-
away.
yeah.
The inside scoop, the exclusive.
Oh, how? Okay, can you tell me right now, and then we're gonna cut that, and then I'll come back in with a reaction to the story afterwards.
Sure.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Okay.
What a wild night at BP.
I know, right?
That could just be an ad for BP.
I
I
don't know if anybody would ever want to visit a BP
Yeah.
after what
Honestly,
we.
I mean, it makes me want to visit BP more.
It was in the family section too. We
yeah,
were not
like
on the
we
bar
were, we
side.
weren't
Oh
on the
my
bar side.
Ah,
I know. I know.
the family section.
Yeah.
We just gave
Damn.
Max our weekend roundup and then cut it from everyone else.
Wow, that BP there's something going on there.
I know.
There
There's something
is.
going on. There's
There's a-
something in the air.
There's a different vibe. There's a
Something in
different
the air.
Yeah,
vibe.
what's the name of the guy from Shark's Tank or Dragon's Den?
Um,
Who does the BP stuff? What's his name?
Oh, Jim Tree Living.
Jim Tree Living.
Isn't it?
He's not. His
Glad you
name,
got
last name's
that.
Tree Living.
Yeah. I'm like 98% sure.
What a maniac.
I was a big Dragon's Den fan back in the day.
Dragon's
I like
Den.
Dragon's Den.
It's pretty good.
Great
was
show.
good.
Makes me feel all entrepreneurial.
Great show.
Like,
Because
I'm like,
Kevin,
oh.
my mom used to be engaged to Kevin O'Leary's business partner back in the
No
90s.
way.
Back in the 90s.
What a
yeah.
fun fact.
Fun fact.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I think he was a billionaire while they were dating. But I don't think she said some weird reason for not being into him.
We're like, does your mom want to come on the podcast?
Let's get my mom on the pod. Apparently, Kevin was like a nice guy.
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel like
I
Apparently,
bet.
he was a nice guy. He was kind of he said he was very intense,
yeah,
but I think
hardcore
it comes across.
businessman.
Hardcore business guy.
Yeah, he wears
know what I
those
mean?
like funny little paperboy hats.
How tall do you think he is?
6
tall.
feet.
Oh,
I think he
you're
looks
saying
tall.
tall.
I think he's like 5.
I feel like he'd be
5'8",
sneaky tall.
5'8",
Okay,
5'7",
5'8".
5'8".
Is that how tall he is, or is
That's
that your
what I'm guessing.
guess?
That's
That's what I'm guessing.
Should we Google it? But you
Mark,
kinda wanna
can you
know.
Google how tall what's his name is?
Kevin O'Leary?
Can you Google how tall he is, please?
5'10" is Mark's guess.
Jim
Tree
Tree
Living.
Living. No way.
Knew it.
Tree Living.
it.
Absolute maniac.
My dad's friend was married to Arlene Dickinson. Yeah.
wow.
Damn.
I don't know. He was giving me
He should be in the
tall
NBA.
energy.
He should be in
Tall
the
man
NBA.
energy.
Yeah.
Oh, or
Mm.
wow, he's
He
getting
keeps going
shorter
down.
by the
He's
second.
going down and down.
By the end of the episode, he's not going to exist anymore.
The fact that it's like
way.
debated how tall he is, though.
It's kind of alluring.
Yeah, like
You know about what happened with him in the boat?
No.
I did, but it refreshed me. Do you know the story?
Apparently, I don't know. I think what happened is, so someone was driving a boat that killed someone. It was his boat. And I think they said his wife did it.
Yeah.
And there was like some, I think it was like a Dewey, it was like a DUI situation. And I'm just looking at that, I'm like, knowing Kevin O'Leary, you don't think that dude's driving his boat? You don't think that dude's driving the boat? But also, like, poor guy who died. I mean, like...
No, seriously.
Imagine the last thing you see is Kevin O'Leary
coming at you on a speed boat.
Holy
shit.
Hammered.
In his paperboy hat.
He's just hammered and he's speeding directly at you. That is, like, from hell.
Yeah,
that is
that's
the worst last thing you want to see.
I
mean, for a second, you must be like, oh my God, he knows about my invention. Like, he's coming. And then, boom. No, that's not the case.
One of his inventions. He's like, do you think he's gonna, like, invest in me?
It's so sad.
That's really not good.
That's so sad.
Welcome back to the conspiracy corner.
Yeah, we're kind of serious this episode. It's kind of
Census.
funny.
Kevin O'Leary.
That's right. We really
Glove guy at the urinals at the Seahorse.
We're really getting into it today.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry for the guy who died. I feel bad.
No,
Yeah, no.
of course, rest in
But I don't know if he
peace.
did. Maybe he didn't die.
R.I.P.
I don't know the story.
I don't know
And
any
no
details.
disrespect.
No
It's
disrespect
just
to that guy, but
it's the pure
We're honestly
imagery.
disrespecting Kevin O'Leary here.
I mean, I think I've had nightmares where he's like,
Please stop saying his name. It's so funny.
Kev.
just good old Kev.
We're like,
You know,
Kev.
he has TikTok too. He has
TikTok.
Oh, does he ever? Does
should message
he
him.
ever? I've tried.
Oh.
He Y'all
does
trying to
not,
collab?
well, he's not allowed to accept photos in the inbox. So, I mean, there's only so much I can do.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of
But
course.
it is what it is.
It is
It certainly is what it is. We're
Is
getting
what
into it
is.
today.
I
This is the
know.
weekend roundup.
This
is the weekend roundup.
We
Yeah.
rounded it up.
We rounded it up. We're also low-key a dating podcast, too. Talk to us about your dating life.
Dating
Absolutely.
situations.
Well, let me tell you, I'm seeing this lovely lady named Meg.
Meg.
Fantastic
Love that.
lady, you know, real nice gal. And I think, you know, she's a lot smarter than I am, which certainly makes things tumultuous at times. But I mean, that's all my fault. That's all my fault. She'll talk to me about things that are complex. And I'll be like, I'm like, it feels like Kevin O'Leary's speeding at me. But
The Kevin O'Leary joke's
you know,
taking Lauren
Kev,
out.
You know, Kev. But yeah, so that's the situation now.
Nice.
We'll be back with the weekend roundup.
Like, fair enough.
We'll be back with the
Honestly,
weekend
it's hot
roundup.
in here.
Okay, I'm back. I'm feeling a little bit better. I had a bit of a hangover meltdown, and I needed to lay on the couch with the dog, and now I'm feeling better. And we're going to go through our question form with Max. All right, Max, we are trusting on you to give us our straight guy insight
Absolutely.
that we are unable to deliver to our
provide.
followers.
Lay it on me.
This guy in my friend group and I always flirt a lot when we drink together. Nothing more has happened because I feel really comfortable with someone. I need to feel really comfortable with someone before hooking up with them. He keeps texting me to come chill and I'm not sure what to do. I don't want a casual hookup, so I've come up with the excuse to come chill text a few times, hoping he would take the hint, but he keeps swinging and missing. I don't want to be awkward next time I see him. How do I reject him without making him feel like he's being rejected?
Wait, hold on. I'm confused. Did
Let's
she
roll
did she
back.
say she wanted to hang with him and then ended it with I don't want to reject him?
They flirt a lot when they drink together. Nothing more has happened because she needs to feel really comfortable with someone before she can start hooking up with them.
Yeah.
And she's not looking for a casual hookup, so she's like turned down his invites a couple times, and now she's like, well, I don't want to reject him because it's gonna be awkward because we all hang out in a big friend group.
Just gotta lay it on the line.
I know.
just
That's what
gotta
I'm
lay it
thinking
on
Just gotta
the
put it
too.
out there.
That's a lot of the questions that we get is like, it's so every single question I get, I'm like, just do it, man. Like,
Yeah.
just fucking
Just
do
talk
it.
it
Which
out.
makes
On
me
the
wonder
line.
if we should have a question for him.
Like, maybe we're wrong.
No, but I think the weird thing is that, and honestly, at the same time, it's like a lot of people talk about like, you know, going out and like, oh, is I too flirty, blah blah. No, you go out and you be flirty. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
There's no, you're not promising anybody anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with a little wink. That's fine. And some dudes, I guess,
Is that how you
Wink.
flirt?
I was gonna say, is that
Yeah.
your move?
it certainly does not work, but
But it's a move.
it's a move. But like some dudes take it the wrong way. Like if someone's being flirty, it's like you're just out for fun. You know, it's
Yeah.
like no one's
Mhm.
getting promises. When someone's being too flirty, like some guys, like they really think, okay, you know what, this is my shot. This woman's in love with me. Now I'm gonna message her every day for a year. No.
That's not how it
But at
goes.
the same time, too, it's like it's not that bad to reject. To be like, look, I like you. You're a great guy. and it's gonna hurt your feelings. But you got to be cruel to be kind. You can't leave this guy on a string and make him think that he might have a chance. Even ghosting makes him think he might have a chance.
Yeah.
It'll lay it on the line.
Ghosting makes him think he has a chance?
Oh yeah, because then he's probably thinking like, oh my God, like maybe if I try to say something else. But if you really break it down, like, look, it's not you trying different ways to say something. It's no matter what you say, I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No matter what you say.
No matter what you say, I don't like you.
I don't like you like
you hear
that.
all these, grandpas will tell stories of like, I was going after your grandmother every day for 4 years. Well, grandpa.
And then she gave in.
That's because back then the population was like 3 people. So it was between you and the other guy. So she ended up picking you in the end. Okay. Now there's so many people. Okay. You got to cut your losses. Say, I love you, but I hate you. Get out of my life.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree. I think that there's nothing wrong with, doing a little flirty flirt with your guy friends when you're out drunk. It's just, it's fun, it's fresh or whatever, but I don't know. I think the come chill text after like just flirting a little bit when you go out is kind of funny to me. Like, I don't know. If you guys are in a big friend group, I would expect a little bit more than the pull up text.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Honestly, I would say this is a young lady. Does she give her name?
She does not. These are mostly anonymous.
Oh my God. Sneaky.
It's brutal, eh?
Sneaky.
Although every time we go out drinking, someone comes up to me and goes, I submitted a question to the question forum, and then they tell me which one it is.
You know what I would say? I would say, you know what? Genuinely, because this will put the guy on skates. You got to say, hey, how about we do a coffee? And then you sit down, and then obviously you give him every chance in the world to kind of have conversation. And if you can't hold up a conversation over coffee, he'll know at the end of it, he's like, okay, this is my bad. And I am brutal.
My bad.
And I am brutal.
That's exactly how you reject him without making him feel rejected. You make him realize how it doesn't work.
You make him realize, like, wow, if I can't hold up a coffee conversation, how the hell am I supposed to make love to this person? So you got to do the coffee, and that's what you have to do first.
Fair.
Final answer. Lock it in.
If I take... Hashtag fuck you, according to the button.
Okay, so that's my answer for that.
I think that's a good answer.
That's a really
I
good
agree with that
answer.
answer.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun, innovative approach.
Let's put on Dragon's Den.
Yeah. So this one's a little shorter. My boyfriend's ex is trying to slide in his DMs. What do I do? P.S. Love the pod. You girls are killing it. Thank you.
Okay, I have a little insight on this
Mm-hmm.
because before I read that question, which was this morning, last night someone told me I sent that question in, and they gave me a little bit more context.
Wow.
So it's a little bit more than the it's a little bit more than just the DMs. The ex is also texting him, and I think that there are some phone calls happening.
Oh.
And so I was like, what are these people talking about? I think there was like, oh, can you check my resume or something like that? And then some other stuff. I was basically like, does this bitch not have friends? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I don't know if you
gotta
gotta
check my resume.
Wow.
The absolute last
Like, she's
person I
getting
want
her
checking my
ex.
resume is my dumbass ex.
If my exes were looking over my resume,
I'd be unemployed.
I'm not getting that job. I'm not getting that job.
I'm not feeling very confident in that interview.
They're looking at it. It's like communication. Don't agree.
Like,
What an interesting thing.
yeah.
You know
that's
what? I
weird.
think at the end of the day, if you date someone for a long time, there's always going to be a little part of you that's,
Yeah.
still like maybe like you ended it because there's no attraction anymore. There's always going to be a part of you that loves them still.
Yeah, cares. You
Like
care.
cares,
You still care.
I think that's her way of reaching out without reaching out. Like it's just as good to be like, hey, thinking about you. If an ex texts me that, I mean, maybe actually it'd be very exciting. If they do, I'm like, okay, great, there we go. We don't necessarily need to talk all the time. But
Yeah.
it's like I want you to know, like, ending on good terms is
Yeah.
great. You know.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't necessarily feel too threatened, like, by anything. In general, like, look, if you think what you got with your man or your lady is a strong thing, oh my God, then what are you worried about?
And what are you
Then
worried
what the hell are you worried
about?
about?
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah,
think it's
that's
strong,
fair.
send all the texts. Bring in everybody. Okay? You're like, I know what we got is working out.
Nothing
And
will
if- and if-
destruct our
and
bond.
if, let's say, for example, he caves in and he starts making love to this beautiful woman again, then okay, that strategy did not work.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have done that. But I think in general, like if you think it's working out, if you think what you got is strong, then what do you care?
Yeah.
So you let us know at home how that works out for you.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work.
No, what
Like, just
I was
vibe.
saying to her last night, I mean, looking back on the advice I gave, absolutely horrendous. Like I think my eyes were crossed while I was talking to her, but I said, like, at the end of the day, the only person in this situation who owes you any loyalty is your boyfriend.
Is your
Yeah.
man.
So that's the only person you gotta have problems with. Like she can message him all day talking about, you know, resumes and whatever. Because I agree. I think that texting your ex is probably fine. Like to, you know, do a check-in and hope you're doing well.
I
or
wonder about
anything
like the
that.
frequency of it.
Oh,
It sounded frequent.
Like it's like, is it happening every day?
I hope I didn't get these
I
questions
feel like
mixed
there's a
up.
difference. Yeah, I feel like there's a difference between like walking down the street and like seeing your ex and being like, oh hey, what's up? Like how are you? Like catch
or
up.
sending like a quick
Or, like,
text. Like
Also, the time matters. If it's 12 p.m., innocent.
No, that's what I was gonna say. When did she ask
Yeah. If it's 2
him to
a.m.,
read the resume over?
if it's 2 a.m.,
She's like, here's
coming
my
through with the resume.
we're fighting.
we
Yeah,
fight.
that's the thing. Like it's like, okay, so I don't know. I feel like it's like it depends
A
on
lot of variables.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
I
lot of
think it
variables.
needs to. You gotta have a conversation with him about like, you gotta, you know, relax on this a little.
Who texted first? That's what you need to know.
Nobody
Excuse
can
me.
ever know. Nobody will ever know.
Who
probably.
texted first? Did he reach out again? Did she reach
yeah,
out again?
who reaches out is also important.
That's a big one.
It's really
If it's him
important.
reaching out again, drop him.
Yeah.
Drop
Just
him.
like
Simple as that.
Drop
Simple as
them.
that.
Drop them.
But yeah, no. The only person who, like, you need to be mad at right now, if this is upsetting you, like the consistency and the frequency, always talking to his ex, is your boyfriend, and you gotta talk to your man and say like, I'm not cool with this. Set some boundaries in place. And I'm not saying an ultimatum because I don't think it's at that level. I don't think it's like,
too
it's
hot.
me
It's
or
just a
her.
text.
Yeah.
It's just a text, you know?
I don't think it's at that level,
Yeah.
but probably, you know, you don't got to answer every single text.
Yeah.
Like, create some space, you
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
I agree. I'm
We did it
that's
again.
all I
We
have to
solved
add.
another one. We saved
All right, we're done.
another-
Hit the button.
Solving
solved
the world's
another one.
problems.
Just like that.
Okay, there you go.
All right. We need your help.
We need a mediator on this one.
What happened?
This is a question that we
God. This is a
actually
question.
read, I think, last episode or the episode before that. I don't know.
I
This
have
is
no
all a big
idea.
fucking time warp to me at this point.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
basically, we did not agree on the answer.
So
we
we
won't
wanna know
tell
your
you.
opinion.
Yeah, we won't
that's
tell you
smart.
who
What we
said what.
said.
But I'm going to read you the question. For those of you at home, you already know this question. Actually, Maddie, can you read the long one? Because I get
Yeah,
nervous when I have to
sure.
read in front of people,
Yeah,
and then
of
I mess the
course.
words
This-
up.
And this is pretty long, actually.
Yep.
Okay. I'll just skip it. Okay. We started as high school friends when neither of us knew that the other was gay. A couple years later, we hooked up once or twice. We're so comfortable with each other, and it's never been awkward between us.
Wow.
But as finishing out my last few years of college, we drifted apart and barely talked. He's re-entered my life since, and I'm not complaining about it. I present myself as emotionally unavailable because I'm afraid of commitment, and I'm still nervous about being seen in public with another guy. Also, we live in different provinces now, and I'm not that keen on doing long distance. Not that it's about money and gifts, but he got me tickets to an NBA game, tickets to a concert of an artist that we both love, and a custom Valentine's Day present. If that doesn't show that he cares about me as more than a friend, what about this? He came to stay with me for a week, and we went on all kinds of adventures, plus dinner dates and movie nights. Oh, I forgot to mention that he drove 16 freaking hours to come see me. We've seen each other a couple times since then, and he's opened up about his feelings to me, so I know exactly how he feels, and he asked me to be his boyfriend. I didn't say yes or no, because I'm not sure if I'm ready for a relationship yet, but he was so understanding, and I can't afford to lose him. Help a king out. What do you think I should do?
So,
It's complicated.
one of us thinks that they should be together and that it seems like it's just like the right person, but they're too nervous and like they should go for it. And then the other person feels like if they don't already feel the pull, the want, they're afraid that they shouldn't do it. Now, considering what you just read and your own internal feelings, how do you feel?
Whoever sent that in.
Amazing
is
writer.
Amazing writer.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm not kidding. I was riveted.
I know.
felt like
I was thinking
there.
that
No,
too.
and
Wow.
like you didn't even see like the all caps, the punctuation.
Oh,
like
oh,
it was
whoa.
enhanced.
Yeah.
It was enhanced.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That was great writing, but they're in the wrong. Certainly. Oh my God.
Okay.
Listen, you're letting a guy buy you all this. Your tickets to what NBA team also that matters as well, because it was like Wizards. You know,
You're like,
Wizards, Cavs. Wow. Okay. Nice. Thanks.
thanks for that.
Yeah. Thanks.
You
for
obviously don't care.
Yeah.
about
Drop
me.
that guy. But if you're letting him send you all this stuff, you know, you're really stringing this guy along, making him think
Yeah.
that there's something here, and then you're like, I don't want to lose him. Well, what the hell is that? Well, what the hell is that?
You're not wrong. I agree.
What do you mean you don't want to lose?
Yeah.
You're just gonna keep him next to you. It's not like
Just as a buddy.
you know those motorcycles and they have those little side seats
Yeah,
with someone sitting in
Yeah.
it. It's not right to put someone in that. That's for
You're
like
right, you're
puppies.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't put a human being in that side seat.
Yeah,
You're putting him in the
that's fair.
side seat. You're going full speed down the highway, living your life, and you're letting him watch from this little sidecar.
What a perspective.
Beautiful. Like, better than anything
We're like,
we said. We
yeah.
basically just kind of looked at each other.
I was like, I don't know.
I'm saying it's either you're into him or you're not. But if he's putting in all this work and he thinks it's something more than it
Yeah.
really is,
Yeah.
You got to make a decision,
you got to make a decision.
and you got to stick to
And
it.
sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind too. You got to make it.
That's
you
just
gotta,
your catchphrase, isn't it?
I listened to a song earlier in the car. It's called.
And that lyric hit.
Yeah,
You're like,
I wanted to pretend like I came up with it, but I certainly did not.
You're like, fine,
No,
I'll say it
I'm
6
coming
times.
clean. I'm coming clean. But look,
Fair.
you're in the wrong, guy. You're in the wrong. Okay, you're letting this guy do all this stuff for you, and
Hasn't even answered yet if he can, or at that point in time. Like, he left the "Will you be my boyfriend" open.
Yeah.
He didn't. He didn't give him a yes or no. He said,
Just-
"You know who I need to
I gotta
ask?
think-
Those two dumb bitches on the weekend roundup and Max."
I need to hear what Max Taylor has to say about this right
Yeah.
now.
Mark,
Here's a-
Jamie,
here's a-
thoughts?
here's the twist: it's me. But he's
It's me and Glove Guy.
Like,
It's me and Glove Guy. I sent that in about Glove Guy.
That's your fanfic about
But
him.
he drives 16 hours to come
I
get
know.
you.
Yeah.
16
hours is a long time.
That's too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Price of gas these days?
In fact,
Seriously.
16 hours, that's red flag.
That's almost
You know,
a bit much.
At that point, take a flight.
I'm almost
If
scared.
this- okay, all I gotta say, if he can afford NBA games for you,
Yeah, why is he driving?
take a goddamn flight. Take a fucking flight. What are you doing?
Yo,
Take a flight.
Fair enough.
So he's either pretending like he's got a lot of money. He's driving 16 hours, but that's also like him saying like, I drove 16 hours to get here. It's like, yeah, but did you need to? Or was that to make it seem like I'm doing more?
Never thought of it like
You know
that.
what I mean? He's buying you dinner, he's buying you everything. 16-hour drive?
It does seem a little weird.
So, in regards to his decision, what do you think?
Say, look, you either make a decision, but you can't be stringing along this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't string him along.
That's fair
'Cause
advice.
It's only bad. It's great for you because he's sticking around and you don't have to do anything.
You're going to NBA
Yeah,
games.
you're
You're
going
going
to
to concerts.
Yeah, it's great. But
yeah.
in terms of right and wrong, maybe there's none. Maybe he likes doing it,
Mm.
but it's just not very nice. to
Yeah,
do. It's
that's
not a nice
fair.
thing to do.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
I can approve that. And that's
I-
a third perspective. It wasn't what we said.
No.
Yeah.
And I think it was, a little bit more well spoken than what we had to say.
Much more well spoken. We were like, I don't know.
I'm gonna go back and listen to your answers.
It's probably
Just
just
to
a lot
see.
of, I don't,
It's like, well,
Maybe.
we actually debated this.
No,
I
yeah.
love these sent-in questions. These are amazing.
they're the
No,
best, aren't they?
they're so
Every
fun. They're so
single
fun.
time we get one, because it goes to our email, I'll get the email notification and then a FaceTime from Maddie, like, did you see that? What do you think? And then we'll talk about it for so long.
Trying to have like one cohesive thought to say.
Just psychoanalyze the entire thing and then get in here and be like, I don't know, you should set boundaries.
Oh my
like,
we're like, we need to know more.
yeah,
You're
they're
giving
really
us
They're good. People really put. Are there any
No.
more?
all right. I can let you pick what you want to
Oh my
answer.
God.
We have time for one more before I need to go take a nap. we
Fair
have
enough.
we have one, suck my hog. We have two.
Okay.
What goes into a good Tinder profile?
Wow.
3
You're like, what's a
thoughts
brown
on the
bag?
Kim and Kanye divorce plus Pete Davidson. Would you bone? And is there anything else? I think that is it. You have Kim and Kanye. You have what goes into a good Tinder profile, and you have suck my hog.
Kind of already.
You want to do
covered
a
suck
speed
my
round?
hog.
Like
Speed round. Suck my hog. Okay. The second
Fine.
one. What goes in a good Tinder profile? Here's what you got to do. You got to take a nice pic
Mhm.
of just. You got to make it. Make it seem like you don't care.
Mhm.
okay.
Casual, you
less
just
it
threw it
seems
together.
Like you don't
Cash.
care. The less it seems like you care, the more people are like, why doesn't he care? I got to get to the bottom of this.
It's like love guy.
Boom. Pete, Kanye, Kim, I think Kanye is really. I think he's like going through something.
Yeah.
Man needs to
Mhm.
figure his life out.
Yeah.
Also, I don't really understand the Pete Davidson thing, but that's great. Happy
He was
for
like
him.
going to the moon for a second there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was going to
what
space.
The
He
hell
just
are
got
you talking about?
He just got a tattoo that says "My girl, a lawyer."
About Kim.
Wow.
Fascinating guy. Fascinating guy. Yeah.
He really is. The way he popped up out of nowhere with Ariana, and then
And just-
And now he's
absolutely
killing it.
took
Now
over
he's an icon.
everything.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
He really is an icon now.
He's an
Good for
icon.
him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I don't. Do I
Seriously.
understand it necessarily? I mean, as time goes on, more so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More so.
I'm like, he must be a pretty funny guy.
He
Like,
must be a pretty funny guy. I mean, but good for him. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a strange
seriously.
guy.
All right,
Kim, I don't
final
really get Kim.
question.
There we go.
We boning? Are we boning Pete Davidson? I think we need to do a collective answer, yes or
collective
no.
answer.
I think I'm gonna go with no because I can't be disrespecting Kim like that.
Respect. Hell yeah.
That's fair. I guess as he's with Kim, no.
As is with
then.
Kim.
But if he was single, I mean, I'm not going to say no.
Single, listen, I can't.
Wow.
I simply could not pass up the opportunity to have that alliance with me. To know that
With
we
Ariana
all
and
went
Kim.
through that together. We experienced that together. Not only
Yeah.
Ariana Grande, we also got Kim Kardashian,
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe. What's her name? Very beautiful
Gerber?
girl from
Gerber?
Kaya Gerber.
Kaya Gerber.
Kaya Gerber. Phoebe.
another one
Phoebe.
from Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. Very pretty.
Yeah.
Like
God.
that would be my
Yeah.
alliance.
What the hell?
Those
He
would
has
be
a
my girls.
crazy,
Good
he has
for
a crazy,
him.
lineup.
Crazy kill list.
Tell you what,
Crazy
I mean,
kill list.
I'm smashing just to live vicariously through him.
Exactly,
Just to feel like I
right?
can embody that.
All right. So our final answer is that we are boning Pete Davidson.
Of
We're
course.
smashing.
Thank you, Max, so much for coming on our podcast today and just
Yeah,
kind of rolling
seriously.
with the punches of
Thank
this
you for having
episode.
me.
You're an
Wow.
absolute
Thank you.
trooper.
Thank you.
You guys can actually tell us where we can find you.
Well, you can find me everything online. Max Emerson Taylor on pretty much everything. MurrayTaylorDigital.ca as well for some of the work. And just on the streets of Halifax with the glove guy.
With Glove Guy.
Take a look. I'll be there.
Just waiting for a ride.
I'll be waiting in the corner of Pizza Corner. I'll be waiting in the rain.
Fair.
That wraps up this week's episode, guys. All we got to say is talk soon.
Yeah, we have a slogan. we got a slogan.
Oh. Oh my God.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Weekend Roundup. Be sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell button. Talk soon.